If you're anything like me, you've been bombarded with how amazing Claude Code is. Claude Code can do everything. Claude Code can walk on water. But you've been reluctant to install Claude Code in your terminal because you don't want it having access to everything your terminal does. You don't want it deleting all your files. You don't want it making mess. You don't want it doing who knows what. So even though they make it sound so easy on their page to unleash Claude, I'd rather keep Claude on a leash. So I do not want to just go into my terminal and install, as they say there. I wanted some protection. So I wanted to use Claude Code through a Docker container. I thought this would be a major headache, but luckily it's actually very easy. I'm going to walk you through how to do that. First thing you want to do is, if you don't have Docker Desktop installed, go to docker.com and install it. It is free. You can download it for whatever you are operating your system on, and follow the instructions, download it, and make sure it's running. So it has to be actually on. Then you're going to want to go to the Anthropic docs for running Claude Code in a dev container. I'll put a link to that in the video description. What you're going to want to do is go into your VS Code, and we're going to install the remote containers extension. Okay, so we're in an empty directory right now, and you want to go over to the extensions and search for dev container. It should come up. It should have millions and millions of installations, and you're going to click install. We can see here there's documentation for the dev container as well. On there's a little diagram of what is going on. On your local machine, you have your VS Code, you have your own source code for your many different repos you're working on, and then in the container, you have your VS Code server, and you can access source code from outside through that volume mount. So we're going to be doing this so that we can code with Claude Code on certain repos inside the dev container and know exactly which ones they are, and without having to git clone them in the actual dev container or messing around with anything more complicated than just adding a line in the JSON file, and we're able to mount the volume. Okay, so we have our remote containers extension installed. It's very easy to do that. Then we're going to clone a nifty repository that the Anthropic people have put together for us. You go to the main part of the repo, copy this, and then clone it in your terminal. Okay, you're going to want to clone that repository and then cd into that directory. And then you're going to open VS Code. And the amazing thing is we're going to get this pop-up, and all you have to do is click reopen in container. Going to build your actual container for you. All you have to do is click that button. Super easy. When it's done, you press any key to close terminal. Then we can take a look at what was actually in the files that came from the Anthropic repo. We see that there's a dev container JSON, which sets out what actually is being built, some features here. And this mounts is really important. This is how we're going to work with actual projects that are on our local machine. First, let's get Claude Code going. Just open the terminal, and you see that we don't see our local machine. We're actually in the Docker. And all you have to do is call Claude, because Claude's already installed. We just get a welcome to Claude message. We get to set whether we want dark mode or light mode. And then I am using an account with a subscription, so you select that. Sign in, you authorize. Then you're going to want to go back to your VS Code, and you'll see that your login was successful. You just press enter to continue. There's a warning that Claude can make mistakes. That's why we are running it in a container. And for now, we're going to use recommended settings. Do I trust the files in this folder? I'm going to allow Claude to read everything in this Docker. Don't care. And then we have Claude Code set up. And from here, you could actually just have Claude start creating files, directories, but what is actually more useful is to be able to work with repos you've cloned on your machine and can keep working on projects you already have So to do that, you're going to want to use this mounts feature. So I have a repo I am working on. So I'm going to add that to my mounts. And then it's going to ask me if I want to rebuild. I do. And it's rebuilding because we changed the dev container.json. This any key. And now we see in our terminal, in our container, we have access to our mount, which for us right here is modal multi-talk. It's working on deployment of multi-talk on modal. And we can cd right into that. We'd also see it over here on our Explorer. And then if we call Claude again, we can app Claude to make changes on that repo or fix things, and it has access and it will make changes. So for instance, I could say, add a joke to the beginning of the modal multi-talk readme. See what it does. And there it did. Why did the AI go to therapy? Because it had too many talking heads. Okay. So if you want to add that, you can click yes. If not, you can say no and tell what you want to do differently. So that's how you get Claude running in a protected dev container environment. Pretty straightforward. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and happy Clauding in safety.